Justin, too. Very good. Well, good for me.
Justin, I've had it a few extra seconds in there. Once it hits 45,
Like,
that's technically
basically, when you guys
4
co-host,
4 seconds.
okay, it's not going to be at 6 p.m. It's going to be a different time. It's very good. It's just they haven't told the person that. Oh. Oopsie. Okay.
Hit record.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready?
Let's roll. We're recording. Play.
Okay.
You're live.
Hey, welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your house, this show is designed for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have any questions whatsoever, I have people standing by right now, 407-205-0400. If you want to start your house on this weekend, you're going to need that pre-approval letter. That is why Dallas Lehman is also standing by at that very same phone number, 407-205-0400. Great show for you today. But before I begin, I had the great pleasure this week of going out live to an install job of IQ Power Solar. I actually saw them installing the solar panels on a house. It was awesome. As you know, I love solar. I went from $500 a month on my electricity bill down to $40 a month. Stephen Bader tells us how. Thank you very much, Steve. Please give IQ Power Solar a call at 407-205-0400. And now, without further ado, it's time for the opening statement. You know, back in 1969, there was a little thing called Apollo that was launched from right here in Brevard County. And for the first time in history, human beings stepped foot on the moon. Why it's been so long since we've been back, I cannot answer that question. But I do know that in 2010, the space shuttle program was essentially dismantled. And with that dismantling, Brevard County's real estate was destroyed. But lately, we've been seeing something going on in Brevard County. We've been seeing Teslas up in space. We've been seeing launches nonstop from Brevard County. I wanted to check back in and see what's going on in the real estate community over in Brevard County. Also, hysteria worldwide really about this coronavirus. You see the stock market getting crushed. Do we need to worry about the coronavirus impacting real estate here in Central Florida? I'll give you a little hint. The answer is no, but we're going to tell you why. Also, you're ready to buy that house. You're sick of renting, but your credit is not so good. Mark Anderson will join us from Trade Guardian to talk to you about how to get your credit to a point where you can qualify for a mortgage. Excellent stuff coming up, but first it's time for real questions. Every week here on You Have Real Estate, I ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the show, for the third time now, maybe my favorite guest ever, it's Lee Goldberg here to my left, Gary Cole to my right, former news guys. You're not nervous at all?
Sports guys, not news guys.
Oh, that's what it was.
No
huh?
nerves when we're around the best like you.
Well, welcome
Absolutely.
back to the show. Lee, let me start with you, because I know you spent a lot of time in Brevard County, Las Vegas too, but Brevard County as well. You and I worked together in 2010, and when the epic collapse happened, Brevard County was dead. What are you seeing over there now?
It's phenomenal what's happening right there. I'm in Brevard County probably at least 4 days a week. Probably going to get a second place there as well. I guess it would now be third place behind Vegas. But for me, that's where so much of my business is happening right now. And the reason is because there are so many jobs that are coming to Brevard County with the space industry. First of all, I'm an NASA dork through and through. And so I was devastated with what happened with the shuttle program. There were over 37 launches, I believe, left that could have happened, but stopped it, and then everything else went from there. But now we've seen the resurgence of the space industry and space tourism and space cargo, and Jeff Bezos with Amazon, Blue Origin coming into the mix, SpaceX, Boeing, all of these places, these billion-dollar contracts are in place. We're not going backwards. The genie's not going back in the bottle. So there's so much money that has to be spent. That takes people. There are more jobs happening right now. The trickle-down effect is happening. Affordability on the homes and the value that you get out there. And it's a perfect recipe for a market definitely on the rise and about to launch.
Gary Cole, 2006, I think we all know, was the very peak of the real estate market here. 2000, maybe 10, probably the bottom of the market. How would you compare those times to now in 2020?
Well, in fact, I was looking up numbers today. Just to give you an example. Back then, you could get a $200,000 house in Orange County, Seminole County with no problem. Now, when someone calls up looking for a house, you're looking $300,000 minimum. And now we have to start expanding your territory. Go to DeLand, go to Mount Dora, go to Brevard, where the prices are in the 160s for a single-family home, which is unbelievable. Yeah. But here, it's kind of priced a lot of people out of the market. The good news is condo sales now have increased, and there's actually lending. Now, back 5-6 years ago, unless you had cash, you couldn't touch a condo. Then it was 30, 40, 50% down. Now you can get condos for as little as 3% down. So if you want to be in the Orange and Seminole County area, you can get an affordable condo now with no problem.
Yeah, we hear about this coronavirus. It's all over the news. Everyone's scared to death. I'm really not that scared, to be honest with you. But the coronavirus has really crushed the stock market the last few days. Do you see the coronavirus having any impact on the real estate market here whatsoever?
Well, here's the thing. People that are skittish about buying are going to come up with an excuse not to buy all the time. You're looking at this. The interest rates are still low. If any time, now might be a time to buy, because who knows what's going to happen between the election and between what the stock market's doing. We might see interest rates start to rise pretty soon. So interest rates are still great, and I think now is definitely still a great time to buy.
I mean, Lee, could it possibly be the best time ever to buy right now with how rates are, with the prices? I mean, really, we're in like 2006 prices in a lot of ways, some 14 years later now.
So I'm not a financial analyst by any means. However, I do know some smart math. And here's what I could say is that when you look at what's happening right now, where interest rates are, where price points are for homes as well, your options for investing, right? Where are you going to put your money? The stock market, bet on sports legally, which I don't do, or real estate, honestly, or you start a business. Those are pretty much options. So why would you want to, if you're even thinking just from investment, why would you want to put your money into something where you have no idea what could happen from one day to the next, or what seems to be steady and what has been holding for years and building for an upward trend, and that's real estate. So if you're either as an investment, but invest in yourself and in your future, buy that home, stop renting.
And with the rates are, if you're investing in real estate and you're going to rent the property, I mean, because the rates are so low, you are always, right now, as we are, probably going to be able to rent the house more than the mortgage payment is going to be. That's just, it is what it is. That is true, right?
Yes, and you're going to be able to rent it very quick, especially if it's in a good area. The rental market is just on fire right now.
Oh, yeah. The rental market is skyrocketing. Now, people are not getting the same kind of returns. Back when we were doing the short sales and all the other stuff that we were doing with you, and people were getting houses for $200,000, they were getting 15, 20% returns. And if they think they're going to get that there's no question that's not happening. But you're still going to get 5, 6, 7% on some of these homes with no problem, especially with the rents that are rising. And its rental market is unbelievable right now also.
Any questions for Lee or Gary? 407-205-0400. Gary, I hear about summer is a hot time of the market. You got to buy in the summer or sell in the summer. Summer's coming quickly here. It's getting a little bit warmer here already. What do you see happening this summer with the real estate world of Central Florida?
I think continuing to go up like it is. I mean, listen, we've already tripled our business so far this year in the first 2 months from last year, and last year was a record time, and this is supposed to be somewhat slower. So I think once we get towards the summer, and the problem is, this is why you want to buy now, because it gets to the summer, now you're up there battling 5, 6, 7, 8 people on multiple offers, cash deals. If someone's putting down 3% or trying to get 100% financing, and they're going up against someone that's paying cash putting 50% down, the 3% is no chance of getting the house.
Let's say I'm looking to buy or sell. Obviously, Lee and Gary, you guys are great, but how important is the name after my name? Whether it's Keller Williams, how important is the name after the actual person's name?
I don't think it makes a difference, because one thing about real estate is the person they are dealing with. It's not like, do I go to McDonald's or Bob's Burger House? You're going to go to McDonald's. When it's real estate, most people deal with the person they know. That's why we don't do a lot of advertising as far as looking for internet leads. I've always said, and we've tried, we spend so much money on internet advertising and basically got nothing out of it. Because I've always said, if someone's buying a toaster, they might buy it on the internet. If they want to buy a $500,000 house, chances are they're going to know somebody, or they want a recommendation from somebody that they know who they're dealing with.
I'll agree with that for the most part, but I will say, there's been a change with us. So, the GCI guys are no more. I've made a change where now I'm with Coldwell Banker. For me, I have seen a difference where people are like, oh, you're with Coldwell Banker now. But that also might be, oh, you're not the GCI guys anymore. But I think it's given a little panache in certain areas, in certain situations. But I think for the most part, it's about the realtor. This is a person-to-person industry. But for some people, they might think that that's needed.
Yeah, I think you guys are both awesome at what you do. I truly believe that. I'm not just saying it for television. We've worked together for a long time. I mean, two of the absolute best in town, no doubt about it, Lee Goldberg and Gary Cole. Lee, I always go back to the story where things were really tough in real estate, but you stuck it out. But you were driving a cab for a little while back during the crash. But here's what I've always thought when you told me that. If it indeed it happened again now, do you think you would go yellow cab, Uber, or Lyft?
That's a great question. Wow. So I'd have to see the Uber and Lyft contracts. I'm more of a Lyft guy personally. But, doing a yellow cab was actually, I was official. I hit buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I always said if I won the lottery or I just retired and life was good, I'd probably go back to that because it was enjoyable.
Right.
But you can't make a whole lot of money at it. But you're right. You know what? I had to figure something out. And I'll be doing some speaking seminars to some younger realtors coming up pretty soon, and it's about sticking it out. And this is one of the toughest businesses to be in. And there have been many times I could have just quit and thrown in the towel, but I didn't. And just like anything in life, if you stick with it and you do it the right way, the fruits will be there. And we're the living testament 10 years later.
No doubt about it. I know you want me to shut up now and show you some real estate out there, but you have questions for these guys. 407-205 0400. Let's take some tours. You ready?
Yeah,
let's
do that.
do
I like
this.
it.
Let's go to Windview Lane. Where is this?
Well, this is one of my awesome listings in a community called Waterley, which is in Horizon West, and it's a very big community to be. It's in a few years now. We're now, I think, in phase 3. Elementary schools going in, middle schools going in. It's sitting among the lakes. West Orange County, near the 429, near Magic Kingdom, in Winter Garden. It's Orange County, not City Winter Garden, so unincorporated Orange County, but a phenomenal community and an area. Disney fireworks views, lakes everywhere. This home's 410, a nice one-story home in a great area, Horizon West. If you haven't been there, or if you're not sure, if you heard about it, call me. Let me give you the tour and show it to you, because there's a lot of great areas in Central Florida. Lake Nona is a great area, but for me, that's a little difficult to get to. The thing about Horizon West, it's so convenient to get to anywhere you need to be in Central Florida.
And how is the value down there now compared to the rest of the town, would you say?
Value's great there. You're going to get some of the best value anywhere. If you bought a few years ago, you would have been in great shape, but now it's steadily on the rise. There's a lot of great opportunity. Schools are good, so there's a real strong reason why people want to move out here, but value is still very good out there.
And the good news, a home like this, you can see the picture, shows like a model. You want to buy a new construction home, you're paying $50,000, $60,000 more than what you get for a resale.
And not only
right
that, because of the phase that this home is in, right, there's bigger lots. So what you're noticing now with a lot of builders, the lots are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So when you go to an area, it's usually the first few communities or phases that have the best lots. So the newer stuff, again, more money, getting a little bit less home. So you got to take that into consideration on your home search.
Would you like to see this home? I'll make it very simple. Or do you want to get pre-qualified to make an offer on this home? One phone number will do the trick. 407-205-0400. Martha's Lane. Maybe I don't like HOAs. Maybe I want some space.
Yeah.
Where's Martha's Lane?
This one's in St. Cloud, and it's actually close to all the action in Lake Nona. It's 5 acres, and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere in the country, but the fact of the matter is you are right there, pretty close to everything that Lake Nona has, and for the 528, as well as the airport. But this home, this is a craftsmanship type of home. This is home that has been built so well, and the property itself, 5 acres.
Wow.
It has a stocked pond. It has a rifling range. It also has a detached workshop garage that is huge and I mean huge. And for anyone, there it is. For anyone who has, you know, if you have say an air conditioning business or maybe a plumbing, whatever it is, this is somewhere where you have a shop. You can do what you need to do. It's a home that is in great condition and is built very, very strong in an awesome area. And this one's at 650 in St. Cloud on Martha's Lane.
Wow. And how much of that 650 you think is because of so much land there?
Well, I think it's not only just because of the land, it's how the home has been built, but the detached shop and garage. Right. The regular garage is one of the nicest garages I've ever seen in my life. That's insulated and that has a sink in there if you're doing any hunting, etc., that type of stuff. But a lot of it is going to be because of the shop, but it's also because the structures themselves are all built so well and everything's in great condition. But yes, the 5 acres. Listen, acreage is going away in Central Florida. To be able to have that slice of heaven with no neighbors, no HOA, no sidewalks. Think about being out there in the middle of the night. Oh, that's just, I would love to have something like that.
I think the business part of that is huge, though, as well. If someone out there owns their own business, think about it. You're going to have to go pay rent for a shop somewhere else, and the rent is probably going to be more or similar to what you're going to pay for the mortgage on your house and your business that you can have right there together. I think that's a great point.
Yep.
You know, would you like to see this property? 407-205-0400. Gary Cole. Good to see you, brother.
Great to be here.
You promise you'll come back again soon?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Thanks so much for coming. Lee Goldberg, you're going to stick around for the real estate roundtable, I believe.
I'll hang out for a little bit.
Beautiful. And next on the program, if you want to buy one of these properties or you're just sick of paying rent, the rental market in Central Florida is completely and totally out of control. It's great. It's great if you're a landlord, but if you're a regular guy or gal and you're trying to put a roof over your family's head, the rental market is out of control. You can't afford to pay rent. Now is the time to buy. I can guarantee you, for the very same house, you're going to pay less for a mortgage than you are to rent the same house. But maybe you have some dings on your credit. Maybe you had a foreclosure a few years ago. Maybe you had a bankruptcy a few years ago, and you need to get that credit to a place where you can qualify for a mortgage. Let me give you a little piece of advice. In 2006, a pulse and a pen is all you needed. They'll give you a mortgage. I don't care if you're making $2 an hour. 2010, you basically had to get an act of Congress to get a mortgage. We are closer now to the 2006 way of doing things. It's gotten much easier to get a mortgage. But if you have credit issues, there are still some things you have to do to get qualified. That is why I have my good friend and the owner of Trade Guardian here, Mark Anderson. Mark, welcome back to the show. How are you, sir? Here's the number one question out of the gate for me always. We have apps on our phone, our banking app, our credit cards. They all give us our credit score instantaneously. Right? Oh, your credit score is this. But they're all different. I mean, I don't know where to go anymore to actually get my accurate credit score that if I were to go qualify for a mortgage, that mortgage person's going to use. Is there a website somewhere I can go to get a trustworthy credit score?
Absolutely. So what I suggest is going to creditreport.support because you go there, not only are you going to see all 3 scores, but you're going to get a full credit analysis and assessment too as well.
I mean, where do you tell your clients to go? I mean, this is good stuff here.
Yeah, I tell them to go to a guy like him.
There you go. Yeah, because it's so hard and there's so much misinformation. Give me that website one more time, and let's put it on the screen too, Ryan and Derek, so everyone knows where to go.
Sure, it is creditreport.support.
Got it. All right, so here's another question, and it's the age-old debate. So I have some credit cards, right?
Yes.
Do I shred them and just not use them, or do I call and cancel? What's better for my credit?
Well, it's going to determine on how many trade lines you have. But if they have 0 balances on them, you're going to want to use them at some point. If not, they're going to close them out automatically. So I would not shred credit cards, especially if you're going to be using credit. You're going to get mortgages. You're going to try to get cars. You're going to need to have some revolving credit.
You know, thank gosh, I guess, for cutting the cable cord now because we got to pay Netflix, Prime, all these little little amounts per month that add up. But is that a good idea to maybe do a recurring payment, a small one every month to keep them active?
Absolutely. So you want to be below 20% regardless. But keeping something small on there that's reoccurring, then you'll know it's automatically going to be used. You're going to pay it off at the end of the month and just keep it going, and it'll build credit. Absolutely.
That's actually a great idea to put your recurring stuff on the credit card. Yeah, I never thought about that, actually. I have it on my debit card. I need to change that.
Oh, yeah. I think credit card's the way to go for that one for sure. Give me a little sample here. So not great credit to being able to qualify for a mortgage. What time frame are you normally seeing for your clients to go from not so great, not terrible, but not so great, to being able to qualify for a mortgage and buy a house?
Sure. So if you're in the market to get a new home, get a mortgage, obviously you have your taxes filed, you have income. I'm looking at about 90 to 120 days. I'm getting your credit in an available spot where you're now absolutely going to get a mortgage.
If you need to work on your credit because you want to buy a house, I'm going to hook you up with Mark right now, 407-205-0400. If I go to that website, can I reach you as well? When I check my credit score, can I reach you through that website also?
It will notify us, so when
Okay.
you see us in there, but you can always reach us right at our website as well.
Gotcha. All right. So some tips, samples. What are some things I can do to help repair my credit?
Sure. So one of the things is obviously pull your credit report and go through and see if any inaccuracies, things that balances are wrong, addresses are wrong, and then start marking those off if those are inaccurate items. The next thing is to make sure that everything that you have on credit is actually being reported on there, and then keep your credit cards below 20% and pay your bills. That's really what it is.
So I think when you say credit cards below 20%, are you talking debt to income ratio?
I'm talking about the balances.
Okay.
So debt to income obviously is going to be a huge factor when you're trying to get any type of funding for anything. But having high debts in these credit cards are going to affect that for sure.
So if you owe $1,000, keep it under $200 a month.
Absolutely.
So what is debt to income ratio exactly? What all are they including in this? Student loans, what are they including in my debt to income ratio?
Everything that's going to be on your report.
Really?
For sure. Yes.
Yeah, student loans may be the biggest economic problem we have in this country right now, but hell, I took them out to go to school to better myself. Surely they're not negatively impacting my credit.
If they don't pay them, absolutely.
Oh,
That's
yeah?
one of those things that are pretty brutal. Yes.
Do you see a lot of people not paying their student loans right now?
Yes, I do. Especially when they came back from I guess the recession that was coming before. But you have to pay those. I mean, because you can defer them. So if you're not paying these student loans and you had a deferred option, then it looks really bad.
There's a little website called Credit Karma that I think people have grown to trust, which I have found to be not super accurate when it comes to credit score. But the good thing about Credit Karma is you can buy anything there. You can do your taxes. They'll sell you cards. They'll sell you anything, which is why they just sold for $7.1 billion. I don't trust a lot of these things on Credit Karma. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think the score is very accurate. But they also have this little section now where you can dispute items on your credit through Credit Karma. What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't recommend that. It's because they're generic disputes. You actually don't know really what they're sending. So continually disputing through these organizations that you don't know what they're sending. They have no assessment with you. You're not speaking to anybody. It comes to frivolous disputing. So that actually will hurt you in the long run and sometimes not even allow it to be deleted in the future. So you come to me and I find out you've done it 5-6 times through Credit Karma, can pose a problem. Yeah.
What are some things you can do about foreclosure showing up or bankruptcy showing up? Are there ways to sort of avoid that or at least get me qualified for a mortgage, even if I've gone through either of those?
With foreclosures and bankruptcies, we can target them and find the inaccuracies and get those removed. Absolutely.
Good job. Mark Anderson. If you want to find out what your true credit score is right now, either give us a call at 407-205-0400 or go to this website that he has that you can find your accurate credit score. Mark, what is that website?
Creditreport.support.
Good job. I hope you're going to stick around for the Real Estate Roundtable. We've got a bunch of questions here about credit. Awesome. Do you have a few minutes?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. And without further ado, it's time for your part of the show. It's time for the Real Estate Roundtable. Every week here on You Have Real Estate, we answer your questions from throughout the week. All you have to do, go to our Facebook page, You Have Real Estate, and you can ask me questions right there. And we just might answer your question next week here on You Have Real Estate. All right, let's go to Jason up in Tallahassee for Lee. I'm moving to Merritt Island. Does a view of Kennedy Space Center affect my value?
I don't know if it'll necessarily affect your value. I think we could probably, let's say I was the list agent, I could probably justify a higher price because it has a better view versus having a street view. So in that regard, I'd say, yeah, to a degree, it'll definitely sell quicker as well. But if you're moving to Merritt Island, you should definitely call me.
Samantha and Eustis, beautiful Eustis. What should my debt to income ratio be?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess in a lot of mortgages you're looking at, you want to be less than half. So you don't want to be more than half of your income going off to bills where you want to get the best rate you could possibly have. So that's what I would focus on.
Is there a number? I mean, earlier you were saying each credit card should be no more than 20%.
Correct.
Is that per card basically? Is that what you're saying?
That's total. That is your total for each card. Yes, you want to be below 20%, but that's exactly right.
What if I get a credit hit? You know, one of these deals where I had a credit card on auto pay and whatever reason something happened. I mean, can I overturn that? Because that's going to ding my credit. It was just an accident. What can I do?
They do goodwill changes. One best thing to do is actually just ask them. Say, hey, this was a fault that you had, an error. Could you actually just go back and update it and remove it? And a lot of times they will, believe it or not.
Brandon in Winter Springs. Lee, if you could buy your primary home anywhere in Central Florida right now, where would it be?
So I have not seen this question
Yeah, I
or
know.
heard it. This is a conversation I have all the time.
Oh,
with people
really?
Because I see homes everywhere, and I say to myself, man, I would love to live here. Like, I would love to live on 5 acres in St. Cloud. I'd also love to live on the Butler Chain.
Yeah.
I'd also like to live on the Intercoastal.
It's a lot of houses.
There's a lot. Yeah. So for me, actually, if I could choose anything, and if I had a solid budget that wasn't crazy obscene, but still close to the 7 figures,
Yeah.
right? Which I don't right now, but that's why I work 80 hours a week to one day be like Justin Clark.
Yeah, right.
I would want a little land on a lake that has multiple lakes, so on a chain where I can wakeboard and not hear my neighbors,
Got it.
possibly in no HOA. So that's kind of what I'd like one day. We'll see.
Brian in Orlando, quickly from Mark Anderson. Does a car payment help my credit?
Yes, it does. So that is, again, another line of credit that you have a trade line. And so make sure you pay that on time. And as that balance goes down, your credit is going to go up.
Beautiful. Mark Anderson, Trade Guardian.
Thank you.
Lee Goldberg, Realtor Extraordinaire. Thanks, guys.
So glad to be here.
And
Thank you.
Gary, thank you, of course, as always, for joining me today. But most importantly, thank you for joining us here today. If you have any questions about anything we discussed, or you need to get pre-approved for a house, 407-205-0400. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you right back here next week for You Have Real Estate. Boom. See those zeros? Good job.